Drogba indirdi ceza Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera! Fernando Muslera! Golün adı Muslera! Sarıyoglu, Drogba! This is incredible!
Merhaba, and welcome to episode 62 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. From all around the universe, it's your favorite host, Samet, and we are back with another episode. This time, it's just me and my fellow coach Canada. Hello, Canada. Hello, John.
What's up? How's it going, everyone? Happy to be back for another episode. 62 episodes deep. It's been a pretty good ride so far, and excited to continue that ride this season.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, when did we record last time? It was a week ago, right?
I think about a week ago. Yeah, it's
So
a little
much happened.
tricky sometimes to get everyone together recording. A lot has happened, but we've been discussing a lot of it in our Twitter spaces. Online. So for anyone listening, if you want to be part of that discussion after every match, head over to our Twitter, jump in the space, and let us know what you think about the match.
Yeah. No, those seem to be interesting, definitely. But yeah, we can also keep up with all the news for our podcast members, so we'll go through that today. But first, as always, I'm going to ask a fact of the week. But since we have nobody to ask that, I have my own fact of the week. Actually, something that my colleague said during the week. Do you know why sharks are white on their belly and dark on top, John?
I don't know. Why are they?
No, it's super interesting. Apparently, because, the sunlight is, when you look up in the sea and you see the sunlight, it's white. So the shark's belly is white as well. So when they go after as a predator, the belly is white, so they don't fear it. And the other way around, they're camouflaged when they're in the sea with the darker head, let's say. I thought it was interesting.
That is interesting. Where did you hear that?
My colleague told me this, just random. I was like, yeah, that's a good thing to bring forward.
Do you guys have Shark Week in Netherlands?
No, dude. We haven't. I think I was discussing my holidays. I'm looking to go on holiday.
Bro,
They were saying
I
watch
asked
out
you-
for the sharks. So
yeah, I ask you that because we have Shark Week here, like in North
The hell's
America. I don't know if you heard of that. It's like a week long of just like shark programming on TV on like certain channels.
Why?
I don't know, man. I have no freaking idea. I've never been interested in it, but even though sharks are pretty interesting, but yeah, that's a fun fact right back at you. We have Shark Week over here, so
the Americas seem to like their teams, right?
yeah, yeah.
Nah. All right, John. So since our last episode, what happened? What's been happening? Shall we go to the news?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
keep,
Take us through it if you can.
Yeah, I wrote a few things I see, and there are a lot of big accounts, big news outlets on Twitter, outside of Twitter, that are making propaganda. But I think it's probably the first time I've noticed myself seeing it happen live as well. And I'm talking about the new big channels like Sports Digitale, etc., etc. And what's happening is they are creating propaganda in terms of all the amount of players that Galatasaray is buying and leaving out a lot of the story in negative way for Galatasaray.
That's not surprising to hear at all. There seems to always be some groups or some individuals that try their best to just cause chaos and just like cause turmoil, like as if it's the only way to try to stop us. Like we're clearly making moves this season in the transfer market and, trying to introduce a certain quality to the squad that, might not have been seen in Turkey before, and then leave it to the media to try to crush us while we do that,
Yeah, I think what surprised me most is I saw it happen because I think a Twitter account, they raised a quote saying, yeah, Galatasaray is going after Fred and they're not happy about this. And this was said by XYZ reporter. And then the XYZ reporter that they quoted said, this is not true, this is false, nothing like this is happening. It was the whole Fred saga, I think. And it was multiple accounts doing this. So you can see really that they were trying to like crowd control how things are taught, which was very interesting to see. And immediately also being debunked, of course. Because Fred, yeah, we did look into Fred, but we thought 15 million euros was not worth for him. Although we do very hardly need a midfield. Yeah, sure. But yeah, something interesting that was on my radar.
Yeah.
Other than that, we have Metehan Baltacı, who will be loaned to Eyüpspor. Arda Turan has been keen on getting him. So we wish him good luck there. I hope he gets a lot of playing time. Next to Emin Bayram, he's also a very favorite youth player of mine. I just love these two kids. Emin Bayram and Metehan Baltacı. I just see a great future for both of them. They're very capable center backs.
You rate them very highly. Yeah, I remember. I remember that. I like I like them both as well. I like them both too. I think they both need a little bit of work. Like for Emin's case, he's not going to get, a consistent minutes with us in the first team, but he played today in our qualifier, Champions League qualifier, and I hope he can play here and there in the season as well, because I think both of them have a lot of potential. So
they have both great legs.
Yeah.
And Emin has to work on he's too comfort like he's too comfortable on the ball.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, but also can be a bad thing, as we see. That he plays too much with the ball and loses the ball sometimes in crucial spots. But hey, he'll get there. He's still very young. Erden Timur has been saying that we will get 2 more players on Icardi and Zaniolo's level. And I think after that speech of him, we got Tete. So what we will have is Tete. It's official. Mateus Cardoso Lemos Martins is his real name, and Tete is his Brazilian nickname, as the Brazilians love to do. He's 23 years old, born in 2000, millennial, and his previous club was Shakhtar Donetsk. He's coming to Galatasaray for 4 + 1 year contract. He signed for 3.1 million euro as a signature fee, and his yearly salary will be 2.8 million euros. We're not paying anything to Shakhtar, so basically a free transfer, because, well, basically, the situation over there, right?
Yeah.
They are saying there are some legal points that might be an issue, but I'm sure our legal team had a great look at that and we're fine in it. And then, obviously our squad value is increasing. It's, I think, probably at 250 million euros by now. But hey, that doesn't say anything, right? We just have to play good and have a good team. That's the most important point. Group stages. We played Olympia Ljubljana. First leg, 3-0. Second leg was 1-0 today. And we will face Molde in the playoffs because, Klaksvik from Faroe Islands had won against Molde in the first leg, 2-1. And today, Molde won 3-2. And guess what, John?
What?
The winning goal. Who did score that?
Good old Marty.
Yeah, Martin Lines. We will see him once again in Istanbul. The first game will be on 23rd of August in Molde in Norway. And then on the return will be 29th of August in Istanbul. So that will be an interesting game. We will unfortunately not have Lucas Torreira because he got a red card in today's Olympia Ljubljana game, which we'll talk about as well. And you know what's funny? Icardi, we didn't discuss him, did we, last game, or did we? I'm not sure.
Discuss him in regards to what? Just in general?
In salaries? I think we did, maybe. Well, we can.
I can't remember if
Yeah.
if you have the numbers handy.
Well, it's a 3-year contract, 10 million transfer fee, and 6 million euro salary. I don't know if the official numbers were out. He's gonna wear number 9, so quickly said that as well. And then Paredes was some player that we were looking at, but unfortunately Roma has signed him, and he was keeping us on the leash, like I said last time. And well, Roma, it was his choice eventually. Good for him. And then the recent news, John. Rashica.
Rashica.
Yeah, there we go. Well, one thing is nice. I won't have to say his name ever again.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing because Beşiktaş just signed him. And we don't know the details yet. But what do you think about that, John?
This is my thing with this. I'm seeing a lot of people say a lot of different things, and people are making some good points. But for me, so I did like Rashica. I did like him as a player. I thought he had a good season overall. He had some ups and downs last season, but looking at it in general, I thought he had a good season. He had some pretty big moments for us. I thought he had a good attitude. He was a professional, not too expensive of a player either. So of course, if we had the opportunity, which we did, to sign him, I would have loved for him to join our team again. I think he could have offered a lot for our team, especially, playing in 3 competitions. It didn't work out that way, but I'm not exactly losing sleep over this, And
why is that?
I don't feel like he is as critical of a player as some of the other players that we have. Like, without a doubt, I think he would have added a lot to our team. And it's clear he loves our club. It's clear he's loved living in Turkey. And it's clear he was waiting for us, but for whatever reason, we didn't decide to pursue him. And it is what it is for me. I mean, we've brought in Zaha, we've brought in Tete. We have Barish, who'd be coming off the bench. We have Kerem in the mix as well. So it's not a transfer that I'm going to lose sleep over, regardless of if he would have added a lot to our squad or not. I would have liked it. It didn't happen. But for me, I'm looking past it now. It is what it is. He signed with Beşiktaş, and let's see what other transfers are on the horizon, especially in the midfield area. What do you think about it?
I'm in 2 minds on Rashica. And the first thing is, I loved him as a player. I think when he played for us, we always said, John, you and me immediately said, he's a true winger. He is the winger we need. He is a team player. He makes the runs automatically, like it's ingrained in him. He goes down the line. He helps in the defense. He's everything you would want for a winger. And like perfect all-rounder, does everything fine. And especially I like him because he adds on the team synergy. He's a real team player, you know what I mean? So on that perspective, I'm really sad that we didn't get him, because I think I rate these kind of players above anything else. You can be a samba player, you can be a dribbler, you can do all these show-offs. Like whoever, but being a team player is for me the most important thing, because that's also what we're missing right now. If you look at all the games, the team aspect. But with that said, on the other side, we do have Tete that we signed, and Tete working on playing in Shakhtar. Apparently, he is also very good defensively, something that a lot of people have said, a Brazilian, very good attacking, a dribbler, etc. But apparently his defensive rates, rankings, are better than Rashica even. So, in that perspective, I'm not really worried, because Tete is also someone that we thought, do we need him? Because we're already so stacked on that wing, right?
Right.
But I guess it was an opportunity for Galatasaray to sign him, because, Fenerbahce was busy with him. Yeah. And it might have been that his manager said, look, we don't want to play for a team that never wins. How about we discuss Tete's transfer to Galatasaray? So I think that's the case. And Galatasaray saw an opportunity there in terms of, hey, this kid is young. He's Brazilian. He plays amazing football, as we saw at Shakhtar. And he's coming for free. We could sell him for a big profit later on. And did I already say he's Brazilian?
Yeah, totally true. I largely agree with you. And like, we don't know what we're going to get from Tete yet. Like, he can put in such amazing performances for us to the point where we never think about Rashica again. You know, Rashica could be an afterthought, you know, or it could go the other way. You know, maybe Tete will be underwhelming and we'll say, damn, you know, we should have went for Rashica, right?
Yeah. Someone who knew the team, already used to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, I have, not that I have anything to do with the transfers, of course. I'm just a fan, but my, what's the word? My, like what I'm looking for the most is transfers in the midfield. You know, that's my priority. That's what the word I was looking for. My priorities lie with midfield players. I need to see more quality midfielders enter the team. So that's why, you know, I'm upset. I'm upset for Rashica as the player. I know he wanted to join us so bad. I'm upset as a fan because I enjoyed watching him play. But it didn't work out. And I'm excited to see what Tete can do and the other transfers that are coming in. You know, so we can sort of close the Rashica chapter. It didn't work out, unfortunately. And, you know, let's see what the others can do.
But on the other side, John, people are also worried about the wings not being stacked anymore because you have Tete. Okay, that's one. Who else do we have on the right wing?
Well, Zaniolo left. That was a big part of it as well, right?
Yeah. Barış Alper Yılmaz, Tete. Yeah, that's two. Yunus Akgün is probably leaving. That's the rumor. So and
like I mentioned, well, we have Zaha, Kerem, and Tete, who are considered to be three like starting caliber players.
Sure.
And then Barış coming off the bench, and like you mentioned, Yunus, who might be leaving.
But does Kerem play on the right wing? Does Zaha play on the right wing?
Kerem, well, no, Kerem's on the left, but I'm saying wingers in general, since the whole winger Saray thing has been pushed lately, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So there's, for both sides, you can say a lot of things. But I would say, let's trust this unit team. Let's trust Okan Buruk a bit. If they consider Tete enough and Rashica has been said, guy, we can't buy you or we don't want to buy you for a fee. We'd rather buy a younger, more qualified, better Brazilian player for free. I guess that's the better option then. And we just have to be proven that and see that on the field. And then nobody will think about Rashica anymore.
Yeah. And before we move on as well, I have, like, not even just in regard to this topic, for other topics as well, I really have no reason to doubt Okan, Erden, anyone from the board. Like, I don't have any reason to doubt them after last season. The players we brought in last season, the players that we're bringing in this season, you know, I trust their judgment, and I trust, you know, that they know where they want to bring this team and with the direction we're going and how we can get there, you know. And until I have a reason to doubt that, maybe I'll complain a little more about, you know, not bringing in these players like Rashica. But for the time being, I just, as an outsider, as a fan, as someone that's just on the outside looking in, I have to trust the board and Okan fully. And you know, we'll let's see where they can take us.
Yeah, and from Winger Sarai to Zaniolo, Nicolo Zaniolo. So it's pretty obvious now that he's going to Aston Villa. It's been said by Fabrizio. It's been said by major Turkish media outlets as well. And the figures were initially all over the place. I think they said a loan option, 4 million euros, 22 million euros at the end of the season, plus 4 million add-ons, blah, blah, blah. But the final figures from a reliable source, Turkish media, I consider more reliable than Fabrizio, because Fabrizio actually changed his figures 3 times. So
Yeah, I saw that.
And, well, the rumored final figures are a loan fee of 7 million euros for Nicolo Zaniolo to Aston Villa, a clause with a buy option based on conditions for 22.5, and the conditions can be, well, we don't know the details, but they're saying like X amount of minutes, X amount of goals, or 15, 20 games required to play for that condition to become mandatory. So let's say he does that. We got 7 million plus 22.5 million, basically 29.5 million euro for him. And then there is 2 clauses that say bonus. There is an easy bonus overview, meaning
The impossible one.
Yes, and the harder bonus clause. The easy bonus part considered 7.5 million euro that we could get. So you can say we have 37 million euro in the pocket for him. And then the harder one is if they win the Conference League or the Premier League, etc., you get another 10 million. So you get a total package of 47 million euro for Nicolo Zaniolo, who we bought for, what was it, 15 million euros?
Yeah.
And we didn't pay a single penny, right? Because his installments were in 5 seasons.
Yeah. I really, it's a little unsettling that like there's so much clashing in regards to what the actual deal is. It's a little uncomfortable, but at first the news came out that there wouldn't be a buy option, and we were like, that's just ridiculous. And then news came out saying, no, there is a buy option that's based on these certain points or whatever it may be. So I'm excited to see the actual news that comes out. Of course, I think all the fans are sad to see him go. He was like right on the brink of becoming a fan favorite if he wasn't already,
I think we have not seen his peak. We saw his rehabilitation, basically.
Yes, exactly. I feel the same. So I really think this season he could have added a lot, even though I mentioned in the last podcast and in our Twitter spaces as well. I think I didn't really like him playing on the wing. I think he would have played better centrally, but we'll never get to see that now. But regardless of where he was playing, I think he would have had a nice year with us. So I'm sad to see him go as a fan, but if the finances are correct, he can leave. Which, according to the latest details, it seems to be a fair deal for everyone. So we'll see when the official numbers come out.
Yeah, I mean, he's 24 years old, Italian national team, at 2 ACL tears, but rehabilitated at Galatasaray, and we saw how massive of a 24-year-old he is. Yeah, sure. He's gone to Aston Villa, and we will get a nice fee from him. And the most important aspect is we replaced him already with Tete, who's 23 years old and has a decent market value as well. So I think if Tete goes to the Brazilian national team, that's where we will then see, that was such a massive, good decision that we did swap these two for, right?
Absolutely. If that happens, buddy.
Exactly.
That's going to be amazing.
Exactly. So it's everyone should say their goodbyes. I know. For me as well, it's like I would have loved to see him another season because it feels like a Ribéry scenario, actually.
Yeah. I also I will never be able to thank Zaniolo enough for the 2 memories he gave me when we went to the Fener match last season.
Bro,
that was just crazy, man.
Banger like the first did?
I know, bro. So he scored that banger like right in front of you.
Yeah.
And the first goal he scored,
the ball was gonna go in my face.
Yeah, bro. And the first goal he scored it and then ran over and slid right in front of where I was sitting. I was like, bro, it was just so crazy. I'll never be able to thank him enough for that. That was so incredible. What a memory. And that's it, man. I wish him all the best in the Premier League. Actually, after today's match, Okan said that they asked him about Zaniolo, and he said Zaniolo, he has dreams to play in the Premier League, and we respect that. So I wish him well, man. I hope he blows the roof off the place. So
yeah, one last details. I was looking for a picture of him when he signed with us to say goodbye, and I couldn't find it because he arrived during the earthquake situation, and the first picture of him was him helping.
Yeah. Yep.
The earthquake. So
that's right. I think they were packing boxes in the stadium, right? That's the picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, he came, he earned us money, and now he's leaving. So, and he scored 2 bangers against Fenerbahce. So what else do you want?
Yeah.
Another transfer, a kind of a Barış Alper Yılmaz, Kerem Aktürkoğlu type of testing transfer is İlhami Sıraçan Nas. 21 years old, came from the second league, TFF second league. Ankaraspor was where he's played. He played in multiple places in the midfield, a bit on the right field, but mainly as an attacking midfielder. And we're going to pay him, we got him for 5 seasons. We're going to pay 1.3 million TL, Turkish liras, for the first year, 2 for the second, 2.5 for the third, 3 for the fourth, 3.5 for the fifth year. So we got a 5-year contract, and we're going to pay 10 million Turkish lira transfer fee. So it's all in Turkish lira. It's peanuts, basically. It's always good to try out these kind of potential players, right? If we have another Kerem in our hands, good for us. We should continue doing these kind of types of transfers for sure.
Yeah, I think with how Kerem and how Barış is coming along, I'm all for that, man. Getting another Kerem out of another young player would be huge for us. So especially with this stupid foreign limit. So I'm looking forward to that. It's something to keep our eye on.
Yeah. And a lot of news that's been coming up now that Zaniolo has been sold-ish, of course. Sergio Ramos. Apparently, we made a first contact with his manager and said 2-year contract, 5.5 million euros a season. Come to Galatasaray. Of course, it's rumored values. What do you think of that? What do you think of the idea of Sergio Ramos playing at Galatasaray?
That's another thing that has just caused a lot of, I guess, a divide in the fan base. Like, there's so many people saying, oh, there goes Galatasaray again, overpaying for old players and that sort of thing. I've seen quite a bit on Twitter, Reddit, etc. For me, I can't lie to you. I would be over the moon if we brought in Sergio Ramos for a season, possibly 2 seasons. And yeah, I know he's old, of course. I know that he's going to earn a lot of money, of course. If we're able to pay him, if we're able to agree whatever the wages are, I really don't see how he wouldn't improve our team and improve the squad in general. At the end of the day, yes, he's old. We're talking about a guy that has won every single trophy there is to win in football. It's hard to even imagine a player of his status playing in Turkey to begin with. He's massive. The experience he brings along with him, just having a guy like that in the team, that already lifts the quality of your team. That already makes everyone else better. It already improves the confidence of everyone else. The young players that are in his position, like Emin Bayram, how could Emin not improve and not become a better player from having Sergio Ramos around every day? A player that knows how to play at the highest possible level of football that is literally available on planet Earth. He's been playing there his whole career. Having someone like that with that knowledge and that experience and that quality going into the Champions League, it's I'm not sure how you can put a price on that. honestly. So if he's willing to come to Turkey, if he's willing to join our project, and if he likes our project and we can afford it, I would be extremely happy to have him in the team. You know, I don't see how he would have a negative effect on us. We could only improve, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, again, like you said, there's a divide. You'd want him and you'd not want him. The divide is basically, exactly, like he's old. He's 37 years old. What are you going to do with a 37-year-old on a salary that huge? It's insane. Juan Mata, like, sure, he's a great guy, but he was a waste of money for that 1 year, is what people were saying. And you could say the same for Sergio Ramos. But on the other hand, remember Uçfalusi. He came and made Semih Kaya. He made Semih Kaya. At age 34, Uçfalusi came, and our team was, our team was amazing back then. Still, like I said last time, I rate that team better, like in terms of team atmosphere, team playing than today. But yeah, so there's this divide. And Sergio Ramos, such a big brand, it would be like a Çilek, a proper Çilek in our branding strategy as well. Because, I mean, the guy on itself has like 20 million followers on Instagram.
Legendary, man. Exactly. In all aspects, legendary, man.
Imagine Lale Orta giving a bad decision in the Turkish league and Sergio Ramos being super pissed off about it and making a post about it later on his tweet. All media will have a look at that. I'm 100% sure.
Absolutely, man.
Now the world can see the ridiculous decisions that we get as Galatasaray. Easy peasy.
Yeah. And I mean, like, the way that some people are talking, they're making it seem like we're offering like a 5-year contract or something.
No, 1+1 like, would be nice. Like, if we can afford like having one person like Juan Mata on the team, let's do that every year. Just one old sack that the youngsters can learn from, right? Why not?
And exactly. And not only the youngsters, the other, like, you put Sergio Ramos in the team, right? There's no player from the A team all the way down to the U8 youth team that doesn't respect the hell out of him. You know, they know who he is. Everyone looks up to Sergio Ramos. Everyone knows he's a leader. He's a natural leader. When he has something to say, everyone listens. You know, those type of players, especially if you're, you know, if our goal, like Erden Timur says, is to have European success, you know, a couple of those players are crucial. You know, you can't make these deep runs in competitions without these guys that, you know, are those leader figures, you know, the figureheads of the team. And, you know, Sergio Ramos is that guy. So I'd love to see him, man. I'd love to see him. And the news is ramping up about it a little bit every day. So let's see what happens, dude. In my opinion, it would be massive.
Yeah. Let's time will tell, I guess, John, and we will see. I mean, the jersey does look good on Sergio Ramos. I want to say that.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's true.
So, Yusuf Demir, he still exists, and he's still at Galatasaray. I mean, I've been calling him out day one together with Emre. He's flying to Switzerland tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah. I don't even know what to say. What can I say, man? What, like, I don't know. I don't know what's up with that guy. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what he wants. I know nothing. It's such a confusing thing, you know?
Might have been that Barcelona is what broke him, let's say. What lifted him up too high that he couldn't look down anymore. And, well, looking down, that's where the ball is. So you can't look up all the time.
Yeah.
Wow, that was an analogy. Jeez. Anyway, he will fly to Switzerland, and the reason for that is the player will make a move to FC Basel on loan. And we don't know if there's any obligation to buy or something else, but yeah, just a loan fee, and they'll cover his salary.
Yeah.
Just like Nicola Zaniolo will also fly to England tomorrow morning. So we'll say goodbye to them. Am I missing any other news, John?
I think that's it. Zaniolo, Rashica, those are the big ones. Tete, that was the big one. I think that's it for now. Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, I don't think we have any other big news. Obviously, stupid news about Ljubjlana and De Pauli and stuff like that. We're not going to cover because that's just some throwing around names, things. So, okay then. Then probably it would be good to discuss, since our last time that we discussed, I believe we discussed the Zalgiris game, and then we didn't have any other games discussed, yeah?
Yeah, it was the I believe the second leg of that match. I don't think we covered that, and the Kayseri match. So maybe if you want to talk about, just mention the results of those matches, and then we could talk about today's match.
Yeah. I mean, we played 2 games in between the last episode and now. Kayseri away, a draw, basically. The first Super League game of Galatasaray, 1 point to Galatasaray. And then the return leg of Olimpia Ljubljana at home. We played 3-0 in the away game. And we won 1-0 today. So, I mean, Kayseri game, what can we say? Let's keep it very general because
I'm not gonna dive deeply into that. I have one thing that's been on my mind that I wanted to talk about, and I see a lot of fans, a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people on Reddit are for some reason smashing the panic button on match day 1 of the league, when most of our starters and maybe not most of our starters, but many of our impactful players are on the bench, not even match fit. Our team is not even complete. There's more transfers coming in. But for some reason, everyone is smashing the panic button saying, oh, here we go. This is going to be a long season. Okan Buruk istifa. All of this craziness that, like, it makes no sense.
Do you want to know why? It makes sense. And I can tell you why it makes sense.
Sure.
And not to bash anyone, because that's not what I'm going to do. It's very simple. It's expectation management. What do you think the expectations of fans, of the media, of Turkey have been? If you look at this transfer, have we ever had a transfer window like this summer?
No.
And it's amazing, the players we are getting, the fees we are paying, the caliber of players that are coming to Turkey. It's going to be a super fun league in Turkey. And it's not just Galatasaray. The others are doing their dues as well. They're getting some players here and there. I just heard that Başakşehir got Mason Greenwood.
That's unbelievable. That's so random and weird.
It's going to be an interesting league for sure. So what's happening is there's a certain expectation being put on then Galatasaray, because on paper, the players are amazing. And when they don't get that expectation, well, there you go. Action, reaction. That's how they respond. And that's mainly, especially knowing Turkish fans, they can be very emotional and responsive. Well, that's your answer. That's what I think.
It's true. And it's like, this isn't my first rodeo, man. Like, Turkish fans are like, emotional is not even... I don't know how to explain them. Emotional is not strong enough of a word, but I don't know, man. It's match day 1. We're going out there with Bakambu and Barish and Kerem as our attacking 3, with Berkan and Sergio in the midfield. Like, I know the expectations are for us to thrash them, but I think the fans that know better, I expected a little bit of a better reaction when we have Zaha, Angelino, Icardi, Torreira on the bench, all these players joining that aren't match fit, and that's all I wanted to bring up. It's I don't think match day 1 is the time to be smashing the panic button, but
we're a bit spoiled.
See what happens. We are, we are.
And honestly, I think not only for me but for many fans, all these transfers don't matter. the most important transfer that mattered was Icardi. And we got him.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we got loads of family men, women, children that are in love with the guy, literally, including myself. So I'm just so happy to be able to watch him for another, what is it? 2-3 seasons, I think we signed him for. So he's ours, man.
And that's what I mean. Like, I consider him and Torreira critical players. Like, if we lost one of them, then I would be in a state, I'd be upset, like how some people are upset about Rashica, because what are we going to do?
Bro, that's
like,
the situation now. Torreira hasn't played. And look at what's happening.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how do you replace Icardi and Torreira? How? You can't. You can't replace them. You know, a guy like Rashica, I have a couple ideas how to replace him, but you know, that's what I was talking about earlier. Those two, and like you said, we got him. You know, we got Icardi. That was the critical part of this transfer window. So
and none of them played against Kayseri. Icardi came in last few minutes, and that's it.
Right.
And we saw against Kayserispor. I mean, I'm happy with a draw. I think this 1 point is going to be very crucial later on in the league. And we're going to say, God, that 1 point from Kayseri away, a great point that we got. Because without Torreira, we saw what happened. The midfield, I mean, Berkan can run all he wants, but Torreira makes the correct runs and captures the ball immediately, so it cuts off their attack and continues our attack. And that continuity in our attack is what brings the goal.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
And that's all to be said for Kayseri game, I guess.
Yeah.
And we can move on a bit, talk about today's game against Olimpia Ljubljana, which maybe an interesting... Do you know who coached this team last season?
Of course. How could I forget? Albert Riera.
Exactly. Albert Riera. And do you know why he's not coaching them anymore?
No. I you know what? Actually, it's interesting. I'm curious to hear what the answer to that is, because I remember when he first started coaching them, the fans were like, didn't want him. They were like ripping him apart, and there was some drama there. And then he went on like a 10-game win streak or something. And last time I checked, he was doing well. I don't know what happened.
So that's not completely true. He came in, and during his opening press conference, the fans, the ultras, came in to make a statement to the club president. The fans do not like the club president because he let go of a different manager and he wasn't doing all too well, etc., etc. So it was a statement towards the club management, Nothing against Riera, and he continued. The fans absolutely loved Riera because he really put on a kind of similar attacking play that Galatasaray does, really pushing hard on the attackers, attacking side, high press, and trying to capture the ball, just like us, right? Playing really attacking football, nice football. And what happened was apparently, well, I followed him a bit, and I saw he was complaining about referees, and he was still winning while complaining about referees, by the way. And he was also complaining to the club president about his wages not being paid, or he wanted to have an increase in wages to continue with Olimpija. And the club president did not do that. And then he left basically to the rivals, Celje, also in Slovenia, so which he's managing now, and they're doing really well.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's a bit the backstory, and the fans are in between, because he apparently said I would never coach someone else in Slovenia, but he is doing that. So they hate him, but also love him. It's a very interesting story he is creating in Slovenia, basically. But we played against his team, 2 legs. You could see that Olimpia was not like defending full on with all their players. The difference with Zalgiris was a very defensive minded team, and they would counter with the Oyawasu. What is it? That one player.
I think everyone knows who you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. Speedy Gonzalez. Tried to score a goal against us. Yeah, which for us is hard when a team closes up. But on the other side, Olimpia, they are not used to defending. They played attacking football on the Riera, pressing up high. And hey, come on. That's the best for us. That's the best kind of team
definitely.
we can get. Because then we don't have to mess around to try and get goals and actually, capture the ball and play some football and score. And that's what the result is now, 4-0. So today's game, we started with an interesting first 11. You have the figures, right?
I do. So the starting 11 for today, a couple small changes. So we had Muslera in goal, Sasha Boy, Kaan Ayhan, Emin Bayram, Angelino. That was our back line. Lucas Torreira, who's back in the starting 11, Berkan, Barış, Mertens, Kerem, and Icardi starting as well. And we have a couple of stats as well. So possession finished 62% for Galatasaray, 38% for Olympia. 4 shots for Galatasaray, 0 for our opponents. And Galatasaray actually, according to FotMob, had an XG of 0.73 as opposed to Olympia's 0.76. So I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what they say. And SofaScore has Mauro Icardi as our man of the match, 7.5 match rating. FotMob has Sasha Boy, our man of the match, at 7.7 match rating. So I think Boy and Icardi both played well. So those were the figures. Should I jump into what I thought about the match?
Did you mention Emin Bayram played?
Yeah. Kaan Ayhan and Emin Bayram. Yeah.
Oh God, Kaan Ayhan. I guess he was fine. Yeah, go ahead.
What did I think about the match? Like you said, I think it's nice that we have an opponent here that was willing to play open football. Like they weren't interested that much in just sitting back and trying to counter us for 90 minutes. That was nice over the 2 legs. It finished 4-0 on aggregate, which is good. And I don't know. I didn't think we had a good game in particular, but it was nice to see. I was happy to see Emin Bayram in the starting 11. I thought he played pretty well for the most part. He had a 7.2 match rating. He actually got subbed off in the 78th minute with an injury, and Abdul Karim came into the match, I believe. So I was happy to see that. Of course, Icardi and Torreira back in the starting 11. That was beautiful. We had Zaha, who came into the match as well, who was just so fun, so exciting to watch. He's one of those guys, Zaha, every time he gets the ball, you're wondering what he's going to do next. He's so crafty, so creative. So I'm really excited for when he can catch form and he's match fit. That's exciting. But the match overall, it was a whatever match. Icardi scored in the 24th minute to put us up, kind of put the nail in the coffin for any hopes Olympia had. That's about it. Nothing. I don't think it was a standout match or anything. I think at the next few matches in the league will really be important for us to try to build some chemistry with our new players and get these other players up, to match fitness and match speed. That'll be important. And next week we have the last qualifying round of the Champions League. So it's kind of a critical, we'll say 4 weeks or so. I think if we can settle in these next 4 weeks, we'll be in a good position going forward. But we're getting there slowly but surely.
Shall we discuss first maybe the red card? Do you think it's a red card or not for Lucas Torreira?
I think it's harsh, man. It just looked like he was running. I understand. Of course, I understand. The studs on his boot, it did connect with the player. Of course, the player's going to go down screaming like he got shot, obviously. But it didn't even look like Torreira tried stepping in for a tackle or anything. It just looked like he was running. And it just so happened, of course, when you're running, your feet are going up and down. It just looked like as he was running, as his foot was coming down, it caught the player a little bit. And he got a direct red for that. So I feel that's really, really unjust. I don't know if that should have been a direct red. And I'm gutted, honestly, to see him gone. Yeah, I'm gutted for the next round, man.
Yeah, knowing Torreira, how he plays, and overall, the referees also managed the whole game. So knowing that, and to me it looked like his foot was a bit hovering a bit, right? He was trying to not push down on his feet. And getting a red for that. Yellow, I'd be fine. Completely okay with. But a red, it's a bit harsh. But I think what made him really give that red, and even the VAR he denied, was because he was looking straight at it. He was looking straight at the both feet, and he saw the contact, and there was like no discussion, red card. Yeah. So it's gonna be a 1 game ban.
Oh, is it one game?
Well, the thing is, a player who receives 2 yellow cards is sent off the field and suspended for 1 game. That's standard. Right. A player who's given a straight red card for a bad foul is automatically suspended for a minimum of 1 game, but additional punishments can be added depending on like how severe it is. So depending on like what we are discussing now, we don't think it's very severe, right? So there's no bad intent at all. So I think it's going to be 1 game, and then he'll be back for the home game against Molde, which is awesome.
That if that's the case, that's a pretty big relief, I think, because I think everyone can see, man, like just even watching him for 45 minutes, the difference this guy makes it's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable, man. And he's playing next to Berkan, right? Imagine that. He's putting in these performances. He's doing these things, playing next to Berkan. Never mind playing against a player similar to his quality, because that's just going to be off the charts. But
Berkan, man, I'm so sad about Berkan.
Yeah,
look, Berkan, the guy. I really love his. He's a fan. He's a Galatasaray fan. He gives his heart out. He runs his lungs out. But the past 3 games has been like every time he touches the ball, he doesn't look like a football player. And I do not mean to say this with bad intent, but it is what it is. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, like when he touches the ball, it's like panic mode, and it looks so unprofessional. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. It's beyond frustrating to watch him. Like, there's just so many little moments in the match
and
where
he cannot score as well. Like, if he's up front, you know he won't score, whatever the shot.
Yeah, that's another thing. Totally true. But he just does so many things that are frustrating. Like, he'll have a bad touch for no reason. He'll have a bad pass for no reason. It'll look like he's just about to win the ball, and he somehow won't win it. His positioning is weird sometimes. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like, I think a lot of people, they harp on the fact that he runs like 15 kilometers every match. They harp on that a little bit too much, I think. But everything else of his kind of sucks. So that's why when Torreira got the red card, I said, oh my God, please, anyone but him, man. Because now we're going to see Sergio and Berkan in the next match. And that just does not work, man. Sergio and Berkan, it's...
Yeah. I'd rather have Sergio instead of Berkan. Because he still has some skill. I think he's being underrated as well. If you ask me, he's being punished too hard.
Yeah,
because he still has that long passes that he divides the play, and he's still helping the defense as well. Maybe not as much as Berkan, but at least, Jesus Christ, he's not Berkan. So
yeah, absolutely. But no, like I was saying, the difference Torreira makes, it's night and day. So that's why I'm just praying we get someone beside Torreira that maybe they're not the same quality as him, because that's difficult, but someone in his realm at least, man, because there's a pretty big quality difference between him and Berkan. So yeah.
And Icardi's goal, what did you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most pretty goal, I guess. Like, the finish was nice, but the build up to it was kind of interesting. But I'm happy he found the back of the net, and let's get going. Slowly build that confidence. It looks like he's getting match fit now, so we already know when he's rolling at full speed, it's very difficult to stop him, and that's one of the guys we really need operating at the top level. So wasn't maybe not the prettiest goal, but he did get one, and we just got to keep building on that.
Yeah.
God, I love him so much, man.
That's everyone's reaction, man.
Dude, like I'm so in love with him, dude. Like it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I think there's been complaints about Icardi and last season as well, this season as well, from a few of our listeners. They're a bit worried about Icardi's fitness. He looks overweight. Looks like he needs to lose 5 kilos. Gala needs to put him on a good diet plan. What do you think about that?
I don't really see that too much, to be honest. Like last season, like he's scoring goals left, right, and center. So I don't know what more anyone could possibly want from him. This season, I mean, we're still in August at the end of the day. So, you know, I would be a little more open to that type of criticism, especially because we know Icardi's been relaxing in Argentina for the last couple months. So I'm a bit more open to that. But, you know, when the season's well underway and we're in the middle of it, you know, Icardi's a professional at the end of the day, and I know he's going to bang goals left, right, and center again. So if he's doing that, he's doing his job, and that's all I care about as a fan.
Yeah,
you know?
As long as he's banging in those goals, it's fine.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, feel free to bang in those kebabs and baklava as well.
If the goals are coming, man,
sure,
he can look like me for all I care, man. Just get the ball in the net, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we played with 10 people the second half almost completely, and it honestly, it was such a boring game. I didn't really pay attention to it much, but being with 10 men against Olympia, and of course the 3-0 plus the 1-0, it was very comfortable for us. Maybe a little bit too comfortable for some, like Emin Bayram, which I rate highly. I've said it before. His feet are so good.
Couple mistakes.
He's so comfortable on it, but because of this, he's too confident. And he goes ahead and dribbles around and then loses the ball, which he's done a few times. I'm not denying that. But he needs this playing time consistently to understand. That's not what you do, Emin. That's not what you do.
That's
maybe
I'd
even rate him higher than Berkan for having the ball on his feet.
Yeah. I mean, that's the tricky thing. Like I mentioned, I don't know how often he's gonna. I mean, I'd imagine in like the cup matches and stuff. You know, that's kind of his wheelhouse, his territory. But I don't know, man. Like, to me, how I understand things as of right now, if you know Nelson and Abdul Karim are our two starters, if something were to happen there, I would imagine Okan would go with Kaan Ayhan. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. We saw that last season, so I don't know if he's going to be giving that title to Emin Bayram. But you know, I do feel for him a little bit. I want to keep him, but I also wish he was somewhere where he'll be playing every single week consistently, you know, but I think we do need him in the squad.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else to be said about the game, John?
I don't think so, man. I think we said it was kind of a little bit of a lackluster match. I mean, it's hard. Going into the match, we're up 3-0 at home. There's very few teams that are going to beat us. You know, we're going in on football. At our field with that, of course, with that lead. You know, I'm sure the Olympia players were not that optimistic about it. You know,
I think they were more optimistic to go to the Grand Bazaar than this game.
Yeah, exactly. I agree entirely, and I'm sure after Icardi scored in like the 20th minute, it was GG's. You know, like what are you guys gonna? You're down 4-0 in our stadium. That's very difficult. You know.
Yeah.
So not much more to say about it. You know, we look forward next week to the final qualifying round. That's massive. So you know, let's get the concentration for that one. Those are two massive games. We need to be in the Champions League. We need that money. We gotta compete at the. I mean, at the end of the day, this is what our club was made for. Our club was made to compete against these European teams. This is where we want to be every single year. This is what we do. So, you know, two huge matches, and let's see what we can do.
Yep, indeed. And you also forgot to mention we are also playing Trabzonspor before that, And
on Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, linked with how we're playing lately, I'm not sure, man. It's going to be an interesting game because, like I said, the team has not gelled at all. We've had the training camp. Yeah. The players are there. Are they all ready? No. Why? Why not? Because they should be ready. Because, I mean, you're playing Champions League, you're playing Turkish League, you're playing the Cup. Why are you not ready, Okan? Why is the team not ready? And why does it look like everyone is just playing street football with their own skills, trying to do something? Why is there not a team there yet? And when I say team, a gelled, green-lined FIFA team, not a red-lined one. At the moment, that's red-lined. And with Rachitska, you could have had another green line with Sasha Boye. But that's not happening. But then again, Sasha Boye, you could cover for anyone's ass. So I'm not worried about that.
It's true. It's true. And, we are at home for this match, thankfully.
Still, Trabzonspor, man.
Yeah, I know. Anything can happen when we're at home, though. At least we have that. At least we're not playing them away, which historically has been kind of rough. But yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Do you want to give a prediction for it?
I've never given this prediction, by the way, but I think we're going to lose.
Okay.
And I think we're going to lose 1-0.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to say that we're going to win 1-0. But I think it's going to be one of those matches where, like, it's going to be 0-0 for, until like the 85th minute or something. And we're going to have like a big goal from Icardi, Zaha, one of those guys. So
historically, a Trabzon game has been always a draw.
Yeah, there's been many draws.
So
yeah, and last season it was 0-0 and a 2-1 win for us. So the match we played away, it was 0-0, and then the match we played at home, we beat them 2-1. So we'll see what happens.
Let's hope for the best. At the moment, we're not very happy. So Okan Buruk, if you're listening, please work harder. Make the team work harder. Make sure that all those lines are green. And then we can enjoy football again. Because we have a very important schedule coming up. Both Super League and Champions League. Well, do you have any closing points to note, John?
I do not, aside from what I said earlier. Everyone or anyone that's listening, if you want to actually participate in conversations with Samet and I, head over to our Twitter. It's at TheLionsDenGS. Immediately after every match, we do have a Twitter space with a lot of great speakers, not just us two, and you can give your 2 cents if you agree with us, disagree with us, talk about whatever you want to. Hit us up, and that's it. I guess we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Yep. Also, feel free to DM us on Twitter or Instagram for a Discord invite. We got a Discord group where we also discuss a lot of things with fans. Because as we say, it's by the fans, for the fans. And don't forget to give a like and subscribe on Twitter at TheLionsDenGS or Instagram at TheLionsDenGS. We love you as fans. We love the club as fans. And we wish you all a very pleasant week forward. GG.
Peace. See ya.